cute little bee. Sing masala, best party ever. Sing, we're here, always be a...
Hey guys, Okami Girl here. A few months back, I made a video covering some lost or unreleased My Little Pony G4 toys. These were toys that seemed to have been designed and ready for toy shelves, but for one reason or another, they were never released. In that video, I covered the unreleased Wave 2 School of Friendship Brushables, the Wave 6 Cutie Mark Crew toys, and the Equestria Girl Festival single dolls. If you haven't seen that video yet, I recommend watching it first. The link for it is in the description down below. Since that video, a few new bits of information were uncovered regarding the three mentioned releases. Thanks to Anna Valerie, we now know that the photo of the festival singles Equestria Girl dolls was found in issue 33 of the UK My Little Pony Equestria Girls magazine. A couple new stock images of the Wave 6 Cutie Mark Crew toys were also recently uncovered. Despite this new information, none of the discussed toys have been found for sale officially anywhere, and no one has been able to provide photo evidence of their existence. These previously discussed toys, however, are only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to unreleased MLP G4 toys. I hope everyone is prepared because in this video, we'll be discussing even more lost and unreleased My Little Pony toys, from those with stock images to mystery loose figures and prototypes never seen before. The first lost toy release I'll be discussing is one I didn't know existed until earlier this year. My friend Silver Cascade purchased what we thought at the time was a prototype G4 Celestia brushable. While it's easy to mistake this Celestia as a Midnight and Canterlot Celestia release, due to it sharing the same translucent white and pink gradient wings, there are several noticeable differences between the two. The prototype Celestia has no tinsel in her hair and has different mane colors. She also doesn't have glitter on her horn, and she has a slightly different cutie mark. We concluded that this Celestia was simply a test for the Midnight and Canterlot set, or perhaps the Canterlot Castle playset. That was until MLP Life FIM left a comment on Silver's post, mentioning that this pony was included in the Crystal Princess Palace bonus pack. What? Yes, that's right, apparently there was a Walmart bonus pack planned for the 2013 Crystal Princess Palace playset. This is incredibly interesting since I thought that the 2016 Crystal Empire playset with Shining Armor was the first planned and released G4 Walmart exclusive bonus playset pack. If that bonus release was anything to go off of, the Crystal Princess Palace bonus pack should have come out around the same time as its normal release, but it never was. The only known images of this bonus set were found on a Russian pony fan site from 2015. I have never seen these images before on any other pony fan website, and I have definitely never seen this set in stores. But as you can see, there is in fact that same Celestia prototype being shown as part of the bonus promotion in addition to some Tea Party accessories. It's incredible that several years later I'm still finding out about new lost My Little Pony releases. In 2011, Hasbro released the Playful Pony brushable single Blossomforth. This fan-favorite white Pegasus pony came with a little hedgehog friend and a wagon. Some collectors, however, may be familiar with this stock image, a Blossomforth with bangs. Hasbro released some ponies with bangs for the first two waves of the G4 toys, or basically the first year of toy releases. But by the third wave, they were completely removed from the standard brushable releases. Given this information, it makes Blossomforth even more interesting since she was a Wave 3 brushable that was originally supposed to have been released with bangs. Despite the stock images, this version of her wasn't actually released, likely as a cost-cutting measure. Does a physical version of this pony exist though? If you were to ask me before this year, I would have said no. But Silver Cascade recently found an image that was shared on the MLP Arena in April 2012. That is an actual photo of a Blossomforth with bangs in box. The poster said that the original image came from Taobao, and those who tried to order this set at the time were sent the normal release of her. This is likely one of only a handful of physical versions of this toy out there. Another one of these original brushable variants is Cupcake. In the original stock images, you can see that her front mane color was blonde instead of purple. Her entire mane colors were, in fact, reversed. Loose versions of her were found on Taobao back in the day, but this version of her was never found for sale in stores or in any package release. According to our production code, the reverse Cupcake was produced in December 2010, about 3 months before the official Cupcake was produced. I'm not sure why the colors were flipped randomly during production, but I have to say, I think I prefer the blonde hair in the front. The last brushable set that had a stock photo variant is the Fun at the Fair set. This set was released in 2011 and came with Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle. While this was the final product, some official stock photos show the set with Scootaloo instead of Apple Bloom. What's even stranger is that the stock images still says Apple Bloom on the box, which suggests that Scootaloo was somehow mistaken for Apple Bloom during production. Even more bizarre, the set shows Scootaloo with Sweetie Belle's pink hair as opposed to her normal hot pink hair. Another version shows Scootaloo with bangs, which never saw an actual release. How this error made it so far along in production is beyond me. All of these set variants are extremely rare though, as I've never seen any collector come forward saying they own one. From here on out, the unreleased toys and prototypes that I will be discussing don't have proper stock photos or images of the toys in the packaging, but I think that these rare oddities are worth discussing all the same. As part of the My Little Pony movie toy lineup, Swimming Pinkie Pie was released in spring 2017 as the line's key spring driver, which basically means it was the most important MLP toy release for the first half of 2017 in terms of determining the success of the toy line's performance. What many people do not know, however, is that a swimming Twilight was also planned to be released. At Toy Fair in 2018, Hasbro showed off a Swimming Twilight Sea Pony, commenting that Swimming Pinkie Pie was such a huge success that they were looking to release a Twilight version in spring 2018. The only known images of Swimming Twilight is from that Toy Fair, and there's no stock images of her in or out of the packaging. Looking back, I question how successful Swimming Pinkie Pie actually was, given the number of sets I saw on clearance at the time. This may have resulted in the decision to not release this Twilight version. To my knowledge, this is the only Hasbro-produced MLP product that was shown off at Toy Fair, but was never given any stock photos. In 2012, a few mystery translucent and glitter ponies were spotted on Taobao. These ponies include a translucent Fluttershy, a translucent Rainbow Dash, a translucent Rarity, a glittery Applejack, and a glittery Pinkie Pie. Only a handful of these test ponies were ever found, with Rainbow Dash being the only one not owned by any known collector. On first glance, many may think that these ponies are prototypes for the 2013 Crystal Empire line or the 2013 Target exclusive Pinkie Pie's Boutique line. However, I believe that may not be entirely true. Luckily, I happen to own a glitter Applejack, so we can examine one of these up close to determine the production date of these strange ponies. Glitter Applejack is translucent with a glitter finish on the outside of her body. This is very similar to the Pinkie Pie that was released for the Target line. This AJ has her bangs, which definitely indicates she was produced prior to 2012. Checking her production code on the bottom of her hoof, we can see the exact date this AJ was manufactured, November 1st, 2010. Considering this pony was produced 3 years before the Crystal Empire line came out, I think it makes the most sense to assume that these translucent and glitter ponies were likely supposed to be released together as some sort of exclusive set. Maybe an early version of the ponies for the 2011 Target exclusive Canterlot line? I think that would make the most sense, as they would reuse the gimmick for the 2013 Target exclusive line. I really wish all these ponies were actually released, as I absolutely adore them. I feel really lucky to own at least this one rare gem. One other mysterious Taobao pony that was found in 2013 is this translucent neon gem eye Pinkie Pie. There's only 2 of these known to exist, and while they do look identical, one of these ponies has a main rooting that's reversed from the other. To me, this Pinkie looks very similar in color to the G1 tropical ponies. I'm unsure what release this Pinkie Pie could have belonged to though. To me, she doesn't appear to be a Rainbow Power prototype, as there are several Rainbow Power prototypes floating around that are closer to the final release created around that time. Again, this pony seems a little too complete to just be a factory test, but without any more pictures or information, she remains a complete mystery. Earlier in this video, I discussed the lost release of the Blossom Forth with bangs, but did you know that the Wave 4 Plum Sweet Brushable was also almost released with bangs? In 2021, this pony randomly popped up on Taobao along with a couple G3 ponies and Pinkie Pies. Luckily, Silver Cascade was able to get a hold of this one-of-a-kind prototype. This prototype shares the same production date as that previously mentioned Reverse Cupcake, which leads me to believe that these tests were both rejected by Hasbro at the same time. The prototype Plum Sweet has an arrow drawn on her head pointing to her bangs, possibly indicating that Hasbro wanted these bangs to be removed on this pony, again, likely for cost-cutting reasons. The next unreleased toy on this list is rather strange, as it's an unreleased character, Lightning Dust. First introduced in Season 3 of FIM, this pony was never released in toy form, but did have 2 unreleased figures. The first is a 2015 Equestria Girl Friendship Game doll. She was originally supposed to be released as a Shadowbolt student, as seen in the only image of the figure found on the now-defunct fashionworld.de website. For the official release, Indigo Zap replaced Lightning Dust, which made it more accurate to the movie. Lightning Dust was also planned to have a blind bag release. Images of the figure were found at Toy Fair in 2014, and it's suspected that she was going to be released in the 10th blind bag wave. It seems though that she was replaced once again, and this time by Sassaflash. The Lightning Dust figure was found for sale on Taobao, both with a glitter and no glitter finish, meaning that some production of this toy did occur. It's possible that maybe Hasbro was unable to trademark the name Lightning Dust, which made it so that no toys were ever actually released of her. Next, I'll be discussing one of my personal favorite unreleased toys on this list, mostly because these are the most confusing lost toys yet. In 2021, Hasbro released the Secret Surprise Ring Blind Boxes. These toys included a ring base and a surprise pony covered in a paint-like substance. When placed underwater, it would reveal which pony you got. Wave 1 consisted of 12 ponies, including the main 6 ponies and 6 ponies based off of the original G1 toys: Bright Sun, Locket Key, Magic Mimics, Masquerade, Sweet Sugar Pop, and Fizzle Shake. Interestingly, there are two versions of Fizzle Shake, a pink one and a correctly colored aqua one. This is also the case for Magic Mimics, where there's a yellow one and a more accurate green colored one. I could not find any evidence of an aqua Fizzle or green Magic Mimics existing, but this could be a situation like the Wave 1 blind bag Twilight, where she was released in both a glitter purple and a very rare pink glitter variant. Wave 2 included 12 ponies consisting of the main 6 ponies again, in addition to 4 of the 5 new generation ponies, with Hitch absent of course. While this is what was released, an early photo of these toys was found on Taobao. Not only does this show an early version of the G5 MLP logo, but also a ring surprise Hitch figure who was never actually released. Unfortunately, this is the only known image of the figure. In October 2021, MLP merch shared something that caught my eye. Images of what appears to be a Wave 3 of these crystal ring surprise figures. In these images, you can see a Wave 3 Rainbow Dash, Twilight, and more interestingly, Trixie. You can tell that these would have been released together, as unlike the other waves that were released, these ponies are missing one eye shine and their eyelashes. At the time, I didn't think too much about these figures, as I assumed they would eventually come out. But a year later and no stock photos to be found, I knew we were looking at an unreleased wave of these figures. But a wave is supposed to have more than 3 figures, so what do the other ones look like? Do they even exist? Well, one day while browsing AliExpress, I came across a rather strange listing. Is that Lily Blossom and Sassaflash? I just couldn't believe it. Not only did this listing show 2 never before seen secret surprise characters, but also images of a Wave 3 Fluttershy, Rarity, Pinkie Pie, Applejack, Twilight, and Rainbow Dash. The story gets crazier from here, as after showing this information to Silver Cascade, they were able to find a listing on a Chinese site which showed off several more of these unreleased surprise ring ponies, including who I think are Pepper Dance, Golden Harvest, Honey Buzz, and Firecracker Burst. As of now, no stock images exist of this wave, and I believe it's unlikely that we'll ever see any official images at this point. Luckily, I was able to purchase 2 of those super rare ponies to show to everyone. The first one here is Sassaflash. And the second, Lily Blossom. I feel so lucky to have these rare gems in my collection, and hopefully I can find the other ones for sale someday. Only one image of this next pony has been found, but I think its production is too finished and unique not to share. This mystery pony is, I think, a Cutie Mark Crew Cozy Glow. It's hard to make out the Cutie Mark, but to me, that does look like hers. The mane and body colors are also a match. The only thing that doesn't add up is the fact that this is an Earth pony mold instead of a Pegasus one, but it's not the first time Hasbro has messed up the race of a pony toy. This is the only image I've ever seen of this pony, and unfortunately, the seller did not have it for sale. It's likely we'll never know what set this pony would have been released in, but I'm assuming that she was possibly a scrapped figure for the Wave 4 Beach Day line, as that series had other Season 8 characters released in it, like Sandbar and Silverstream. It's such a shame that this figure wasn't released, as this Cozy Glow figure could have been the one official Hasbro release of this character. There are also some Mystery Pony Life blind bags that have been found by one seller on Taobao. You can see in this picture there appears to be a Fluttershy figure and what looks like to be an Apple Fritter figure that was never released. MLP merch also showcased a Princess Luna and Rainbow Dash blind bag figure that were never released. Since all these ponies share the same crystal glitter finish, it can be assumed that they were going to be released together either in a multi-pack or in a third wave of Pony Life blind bags. As of this video, these are the only known images of these ponies. For the sake of making this video as comprehensive as possible, I will briefly mention arguably the 3 rarest and most sought after unreleased G4 toys: Sweetie Blue, the Yellow Filly, and Minty A. While I've already made an in-depth video covering Sweetie Blue a while back, I've never gone into depth into the other 2 unreleased ponies. Since this video is long enough as is, however, I will save that discussion for a future video if people are interested. Besides, I think that these 3 Grail ponies deserve their own video and discussion. From ponies with stock images and packaging to mystery loose figures, all of these lost MLP toys leave more questions than answers. Why did these ponies make it so far into production but were never released? How many more lost releases are out there? Could thousands of these sets or figures be sitting in a warehouse and they'll be uncovered years later? We may never know. Let me know down in the comments though which one of these lost and unreleased toys was your favorite. Which one would you like to own? If you have any additional information on these toys, do let me know in the comments as well. A special thanks again to Silver Cascade for their help on this video. It wouldn't have been possible without them. If you're interested in checking out their amazing prototype collection, you can check out their Instagram by clicking the link down in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos in the future.